People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Mikel Arteta and Arsenal need to be honest about Jurriën Timber. Did he not say he'd be back in a few days? Days turned into weeks and now it's turned into months. And I'm quite pessimistic of seeing Jurriën Timber at right back for this football club. Obviously, we're playing Fulham at 5:30. We'll be doing a watch along. Make sure you're here for that. And, you know, whether it's Hand of Arsenal, who's probably the most credible where Arsenal's concerned people, if it's not the Ornsteins, etc. He's spoken on Arsenal's potential transfer news. So, yeah, man, smash the like button. Let's crack on. Let's crack on. What's the point wasting time here, lad? Let's just get on with it. As you lot know, the title race is drawing to a conclusion. It's been a long season and we're winding down. This is the final month of the Premier League season. All Arsenal could do, in my opinion, is win the games. Of course, it can come down to goal difference. I'll describe Arsenal as a better defensive side. I'll describe City as a better offensive side, you know, than the counterparts of the two teams in question. When you look at goal difference, it tells you another story. It's a lot closer than what the narrative and what I said suggested. So it could come down to anything. We know we've shot ourselves in the foot several times this season. End of the day, let's win games and then hope City drop points. And we need to start to, well, not today, but we need to win our next couple of games. And it starts today, quote unquote, against Fulham. Newcastle, we got the points on the board. And we know as a minimum, you know, we'll have 2 games in hand on City. They do play Everton on the Monday. So fingers, toes, everything crossed that what goes on, goes on. Bit of a full circle moment because I was at the game where Saka came back against Fulham. Arsenal's 32-game unbeaten run at home against Fulham is the longest any side has faced another without defeat in English Football League history. Records are there to be broken. By God's grace, that turns into from 32 to 33, and we need that today. And, you know, we know how horrible April is. April is our lowest month where it comes to our win percentage. It was 40%. It jumps all the way up to 67% in May. So maybe there's some positive omens, people. We need some copium. Arsenal have entered their 3rd most successful month under Mikel Arteta after their most difficult one under his tenure in April. What's our 2nd most difficult? So you got that. Ooh, it's February, December. So the tail end, man, we kind of gas and burn out a lot sooner rather than expected. Champions League, completely off topic. We've conceded 6 goals in it. So long may that continue. Let's see exactly what the gaffer has said, people. On if everyone is okay after the semi-final. I think so. Let's see how everyone is tomorrow morning. Obviously, we haven't been able to train so much. So tomorrow we'll have a final update. There is rumors, people, online that, Martin Odegaard hasn't been seen, you know, with the team on their pre-game walk. So it's fair to assume, at least until we see the lineup, that he won't be involved. On Odegaard, Timber and Kai Havertz, yes, Kai and Jurriën will be out. So he's playing a bit of a mind games. He hasn't specifically said anything in relation to Odegaard there. On Odegaard, let's see. On his emotions after Wednesday, focus on Fulham and hunger. Hunger to play, hunger to compete, hunger to win, hunger to be closer to achieving our dream. On the penalty being overturned against Atletico, do we really still want to keep going on about that? I don't know. I haven't spoken to them in the last few hours, so I don't know. We'll deal with that on Monday. Now it's Fulham. I think we have enough fuel in the tank. We're playing to win the Premier League, and it's exactly where we want to be. 4 games to go. It's game 2. I'm ready to go. On a potential siege mentality in the squad, which should be there regardless, we certainly have that. We need to face any context, any situation to achieve our goal. What happened the other night was extremely disappointing, and we need to make it happen at home now. Hunger to win. That's it. To compete, to prepare, and to achieve the goal that we set at the start of the season. Fair play, man. Smash the likes. K, hyper, appreciate you lot. Death taxes and you lot doing your bit for DG Nation. Appreciate the mods, them. One love. Message to supporters. It's not that we don't want to hear messages, but me, you lot, you know that here we talk about the macro of Arsenal, the micro, this about the manager, that about the players. I'm at the point, the good, the bad, and the ugly, brother. Just win the league, in it, and all the champs. Because, you know, you do your thing against Fulham, you go through, you're 90 minutes away from a potential and excluded added on time from a final in the Champions League, in which I don't give us a snowball's chance against PSG or Bayern, but upsets are there to happen. And could you imagine winning just the Premier League or just the Champions League or two of them, and technically 50% of the trophies on offer? And I was having this conversation with my friend, yeah, God forbid, God forbid Arsenal fans, but you lot, let me know how you feel, man. Because for me, obviously, like, just let me know how you. God forbid this is the thing, yeah. But imagine this happens now, yeah. All right, we've lost it. We got to a League Cup final. Cool, that's been chalked off. We was 90 minutes away from getting to an, from getting to Wembley in the FA Cup. Cool, we've gone out of that. So League Cup final, we're out. Didn't win the FA Cup. God forbid. Imagine you don't win the Premier League. Imagine you get to the Champions League final and lose that. Where do we go from there, man? Like, football, life is cruel, innit? It can be very cruel. I don't want that to be a thing. As a minimum, Prem or the champs. You know my thoughts, and I did say it, in fact, when we do our season predictions on this channel, blindly with no context, nothing. You offer me the Prem or the Champions League. If I'm just picking for myself as an Arsenal fan, I'm still picking the Champions League because we ain't done it. And I still feel like that, Arsenal fans, right? But when I consider everything, and I wonder, what does it look like if we win the Champions League? Like one of the champs or the Prems. Of course, we'll be gassed, we'll be happy. People can have to shut up and stuff like that. At some point, though, when we're done screaming and shouting, being excited about the Champions League and it is history and all that stuff, we will have to address that. We'll go into a fifth year where we've not got the league done, innit? But then the Premier League, because it's been 20 odd years, because under Mikel Arteta, we've aggressively been pursuing this for the last 4 years, or at least 3 of the last 4. You know, all of the stuff that is said with us specifically domestically, I might lean towards, and all the context we've seen, I might lean towards the Premier League people. Links, appreciate you. Big up you on Twitch. Big up the Twitch gang, man. Big up you lot. If you're on Twitch, don't forget to subscribe with Amazon Prime. Predicted lineup for the game today, in my opinion: Raya, Mascara, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Rice, Zubamendi, Eze, Saka, Trossard, Gyökeres. I don't think you're too far off. I just wonder, is Saka fit enough to start, or is this the game where you give him 45, maybe 60 minutes, and then pull him off, or I don't know why I was saying Everton, or is Atletico Madrid on Tuesday the one where, you know what, Saka, you come off the bench, give or take up to half an hour in terms of starting the Atletico game is where you gamble? I'm not too sure, man, but the gaffer's got to get on with it. Deluded, brother, this content is needed, but why, bro? Why? Believe these people blindly and carry the masses with you, my bro. What does that mean? I always say on this channel, I don't tell you what to think, just think. Anyone that can blindly follow anything, that's their business. Well, and you're gonna have to forgive me, but I don't know what you're referring to. Like, what about the masses? Anyone that just follows anybody blindly, if there's anyone that just follows me blindly, you're a dickhead. Because if I jump off a cliff, are you not gonna follow me? You're an idiot. And we don't preach that here. So I don't know, man. Everyone's allowed to think. Me, I don't care about what other people think. I cherish difference of opinions. I can't live my life worrying about what other people are doing in it. So, and ignorance is bliss. Respectfully, Wesley, I think that's a bit of a dense opinion, but nonetheless. So Arteta's spoken about hunger. He played a bit of a cute and clever game where fitness is available. On the message to supporters, let's keep doing what we've done all season. Bring that energy, that passion, and together we're going to make it happen. I hope so. I think it's simple now. Like, just win the games, bro. The champs, just win the games. You're a game away from being in a final, 2 games away from winning the Champions League, 4 games away from winning the Premier League, provided City drop points. It's very simple. The beautiful thing, there's football fans that are from different countries, religions, all over the world, and the same in this 11, and well, better yet, in the squad. But you know what the greatest thing with football? We all talk one language. What you do with your left foot and your right foot transmits energy and generates anything to the fans, either at the Emirates or away from home, or like you lot around the world. Smash the like button if you haven't. On if it's a test of nerves before the end of the season. It's a lot of factors. That's something that emotionally, for sure, we have to manage in the right way. But I'd put emphasis more on showing that desire, that determination, that hunger that we have shown all season, even more because we've only 4 games to play now. Everything is at stake, so it doesn't get better than that. Fair play. On scoring goals in the first 15 minutes of the second half. The first thought is that we tried to prepare and understand what happened in the first half and tried to apply immediately in the second half. There'll be a lot of factors, I'm sure, to get those stats. It's very positive. But what we want is throughout every 15-minute block of the game to have the ability to do that. Obviously, Fulham and Marco Silva are doing a fantastic bit of work over there, and he's not going to talk down Marco Silva and what he's done. On carrying the ball forward, penetration is one of the words we use the most. I'm childish. And taking players' initiative and making things happen through passes. Obviously, it's extremely difficult against a team that is so organized. So we need to find other ways. That's the kind of thing we're looking forward to. On Kai Havertz, he's been a huge miss. We're talking about one of the most important attacking players we have, which probably tells you where the unique scenarios we face at this club. He's been out for 7, 8 months. Unfortunately, he's not been the only one with long-term injuries and players who have been missed. The team has shown an incredible capacity to overcome these kind of scenarios and still be very, very competitive. On his future, the focus right now has to be on the availability and performance. Kai is desperate to be on the pitch as quickly as possible. Hopefully for Atletico, he'll be available. He's pushing every boundary to achieve that. On not being able to train much between games, we know that's the case, so there's nothing there. Oh, why did we click that? Big up Arsenal in history. On Declan Rice dropping deeper, which I think I speak for everyone. We prefer him in the 6 and Zubimendi quite further forward. Every opponent has things, and we believe that in the last game, that was the best way to hurt them. Find spaces, find time, and surprise them with certain movements. In relation to the opponent, we can change that. Having the variability and options to do so with our midfielders, I think is the most positive for the team. On if he's impressed with Declan Rice's form, we're just impressed with Rice, full stop. What we need are players who can occupy any position on the field. Modern football is going in that direction. When you're a midfielder, you're a midfielder, not a 6, 8, or 10. If we want a total team, we better have total players to do that, to be comfortable in dominating any area of the pitch, to dominate every phase of play. Declan is certainly evolving in that direction. He is obviously in with a shout of being player of the season on Eze and his freedom. I think so. I think as part of his character, he has a unique way of expressing himself inside. None of us know how he's feeling, but what he actually transmits to the world outside is such security, calmness, and composure in every situation on the field. If he transmits to his teammates, 100%, but then, they're their own individuals. On the differences between this match and our match against Bournemouth, the time of the game is going to be different to start with, and hopefully the game and result will be very different, especially when the game turned and how efficient they were with certain actions. We know the difficulty of the opponent of the schedule, but I sense it in the team. We want it that much. Tomorrow we're going to be fresh again. Okay. On learning from short turnarounds, I don't want to hear that because we've been here now. Like there's been a number of years, man. There's been a number of years where we've been on that. We know about fixture congestion. Players and fans, they're human. They can have nerves. End of the day, win the games, in it. Like you can see, I've got little time. Respectfully, I've got little time for this now. Like we're all grown individuals. Apparently, Mikel Arteta has given an interview to Sky Sports. Has he said anything? If you want to win the Premier League and want to win the Champions League, what's going to happen? You're going to lose a match. They're going to destroy you. That's it. You want to be there, love to be there. When you win, love it. When you lose or you don't play your best, there's going to be games where you lose the ball, love it. You'll become even better. There's no other way. If you want to be at the very top, people are waiting there. It's normal. It's natural. And there's only going to be one winner. The rest, are they not good enough? Come on. If someone believes that, then there's something wrong. On dealing with noise. In my playing career, I never read so much, especially from people who did not want the best for us, which is true. It's true. Arteta, I do think it's a bit different because social media's exploded. Respectfully, Mikel, your playing days at Arsenal, there'll probably be a lot more scrutiny on these players that are there right now. But it is what it is, man. Like, they can't get away from it. They do see it, but to a degree, only 3 people's opinions matter, innit? Obviously, the fans' opinions matter, but let's disregard the fans for a moment. Yeah, if you're a professional footballer, there's only 3 parties that matter. What God thinks of you, fair enough if you're not religious, I am. What God thinks of you, that's one. What you think of yourself, because if you internalize the good or the bad, then you're in issues, innit? If you live for their applause, you're going to die by their boots. So what God thinks of you, what you think individually, and your manager. Because if the world, whether we think Arteta's the guy or not, if you're an Arsenal player and he rates you, then the world doesn't matter, innit? But yeah, you're going to have to get on with it. I'm really curious when somebody wants the best for me and has an opinion, I open myself and be ruthless, no pain, and I gain a lot of things. But I really need to feel that person wants the best for us, the team and the club. If that's genuine, that's great, which is true. We don't really care I ain't going to listen to what Gary Neville or Jamie Carragher and the list goes on of Arsenal pagans has to say, which is true. But if someone who's there to damage you with no purpose, then I don't think they're worth your time, which is true, which is mad true. What else has he said? Against Newcastle, there were 5 games to go, and that was game 1. Now is game 2. If you win that one, you really start to get very, very close to it. That's what is driving us. It's our own race. It's a race of 5 races. First one is done. Now it's time for the second one. You just visualize the moment. You know what it means. You win another one, and you're right in it. Okay, fair enough. So what does anyone think of that, people? Was going to ask you that Zubi and Rice look comfortable changing positions. Rice is a 6, Zubi is a 8. We should stick with that for a while, which I'm for. I would like to see in phases of the game, probably not where Zubi might start as a 6. He ends up being the 8 and vice versa with Rice, because that's actually one of my big disappointments with Mikel Arteta this year. Obviously, we know Zubi and Rice can play 6. Zubi's a foreign 6. Rice is more of a traditional kind of 6. They can both do the 8 thing, more so Zubi. What we've seen with Rice at Arsenal, I did think we'd see more multi-functionality between the two of them. I do think his hands were kind of tied because the way Atletico transitioned quickly, it was stupid not to put Rice there. And I would also say, I don't want to say too little, too late, but just little things. And some of it, there ain't a big case study, but bringing Lewis Skelly off the bench and putting him in midfield, the trade-off between what you might lose with Eze on the left-hand side, like against City, but what you might gain with him on the ball. The man-to-man pressing against Manchester City, being a bit, I'd actually say we've been a bit better in isolated to how poor we are by our own standards in attack here. We've been a lot better on the transition, and it's more of a case of, for me, it's more on the players. I do think these things are too little, too late. Obviously, we have to salvage the season what we can, but one does wonder, in the first half of the season, some of the little isms and schisms we've been on about, what would have happened if we did it sooner, innit? Arteta is hiding it because Timber is projected to be out longer than Tomiyasu. Mikel playing too many games when a player is injured. Just say how long they're out for. All this hiding stuff is stupid. No point having nerves. It's been simple since August. Play to win every game. That's it. City don't have to drop points to win. Mikel has to let the handbrake off and score more goals. City would only win if its points and goal difference is the same, because a head-to-head, he never beat City. To be fair, we're not really convinced we're going to be grabbing up 3 points. We just need to put points on the board, man. As much as I want to see a better attacking play, if we win every 4 games 1-0, that's enough for me, man. I think it's more likely to hope City drop points than it goes to goal difference. Timber is mostly likely out for the season. Let's not hold any hope for it. Fair play. Fair play. Timber might be crocked. What do we do if he does? Arteta's going to have to hold it. It's May now. Will there be a parade? Well, our under-15s won a bit of silverware. The women will, and hopefully the guys will. I never lied to you. Riley, one love. Nems, one love. He should have played Rice in the 6 in them proper English games. I hear you. I love Max Diamond to get more minutes, but it's not going to happen right now, is it? What does the future hold for Arsenal's genetic powerhouse, Kai Havertz? This Alex Howell guy, probably because you're always at the press conferences, you're gassing it. Genetic powerhouse, blood. He's only played 20 times this season. Like, what does this mean? Our record with him is probably going to show more wins because he's played more games than been out. We know he's one of Arteta's favorite. This article's looking like a bunch of bullshit. He's got 2 years left on his deal, which is true. And we obviously have Gyökeres. We've been linked with Simeone. We're not learning anything, man. Just a bunch of tosh there, really. Apparently, Arsenal have commissioned physiotherapist and friend of Mikel Arteta, Joaquin Exedo, to externally review their injury issues. There is tension at the club caused by injuries to key players, and Arsenal has a policy of carrying out reviews every few months. More players, still the same dynamic. Something needs to be looked at. Obviously, players do get injured. Players do have to take care of themselves. The fixture calendar list is relentless, and players are guinea pigs. But I'm not a fly on the wall. There is something, whether it's Mikel Arteta not saving legs where he can, not having a big enough squad. Like, we've ran everyone into the ground. Like I always say, who hasn't been injured in this squad? Like, Lewis Skelly, I don't think's picked up a knock. He might have. And maybe Kepa by default, but Raya's been out. Give or take. It was in the low-level games, but Raya's been out. Norgard's had injuries. Timber's had injuries. Calafiori, Hincapié, Gabriel, Saliba, Mosquera, Marino, Kai Havertz, Zubamendi, Rice, Odegaard, Eze, Saka, Noni, Gyökeres, Trossard, Martinelli, Max Dowman. I'm sure Wanyeri when he was here before he went on loan. Yeah, bro. Like, mad thing, innit? Like, yeah, mad. Tell that journalist get off his knees for Kai. Genetic powerhouse. Brad, you can be a genetic powerhouse. I'm not here to debate if Kai Havertz is a genetic powerhouse or not. Brother, are you good at football? Are you fit? Are you long-term? That's all I care about, man. Like, I don't care about none of this. Simeone said Julian Alvarez is still struggling. We all know he's going to be involved, man. So that's probably worse. What do you lot make of this? Gabriel Jesus is on the shortlist of AC Milan, and he's one of their primary targets this summer. Berta, you done a great job. Last summer, considering you joined in March, and obviously, like, transfers start a matter of months after that, I give you personally a 7, 8 out of 10. A 7 or an 8. Heavy on the 7. I'll rank it down because of sales. Because you probably should have told Mikel, forget this Noni thing. But if you did want Noni and you gave it to him, great. And also we never got a left winger in it, if I'm honest. But you did your job. You got 8 players. We walked into this season. Saliba, Saka, Magalhaes, Wanyeri, Miles Lewis Skelly. People have signed new deals in it. So you're doing everything you need to do. Sales are going to be important. Obviously, the Hay lenders will probably fetch the highest fees, but between Reece Nelson and Gabriel Jesus in particular, that's like 300 plus grand a week that we're wasting. Respectfully, no one put a gun to the club's head to give these guys this contract. By the end of the day, Jesus is on 265 grand. Nelson's on 100 odd grand. Fabio Vieira is still here on 150. We do need to sell players. For all this talk about Julian Alvarez and this left winger and this centre mid and this right back and whatnot, we have put players on new wages. And also, you need to get players gone in it. So it's gonna be techie, man. It's gonna be techie. But yeah, Jesus is one love, but you can cut. Bring Krupke to Arsenal. Arsenal are interested in Junior Krupke. Bournemouth are expected to demand a significant fee. Any move could make him one of, if not the most expensive striker. Arsenal has signed, possibly exceeding the 65 million paid for Kai Havertz. He can play in a number of, bro. That makes more sense. I'm more on spending that on these guys that you can see evident quality. Big up hand of Arsenal. He has spoken. Arsenal are now confident Jurien Timber will put pen to paper and sign a long-term extension this summer. Hot take, I think he's the best right back in the league. The hot takes video is coming out. So if you've got any Arsenal hot takes, go on my YouTube community tab and drop them, or drop them in here and I'll, go through them. Talks have progressed excellently with his new deal reflecting his status with the squad. I mean, and of Arsenal said it, so it's good enough facts for me. In terms of his current health status, groin injuries are very tricky to manage. As far as I know, they've been trying to manage him back into playing conditions. I was told he was seeing a specialist, but I need further confirmation / clarity on that. People around the club are still optimistic he features again this season, but truthfully, I check every day waiting to give you the news he is back, so it's dark. Arsenal are tracking Mika Götze, the Ajax lad. My understanding is the Belgian would be very open to joining Arsenal should we step up our interest and make a serious play for him. As reported this week, Kai Havertz is pushing to return, with Arteta saying he could feature against Atletico. Finally, like last summer, multiple targets are being spoken to for each position. One of these players is Livramento, who is convinced he's joining Arsenal. I must stress, we have not made any contact with Newcastle, so there's no current indication he's our top target. Every day there's a new link, and it's probably just Berta doing basic checks. No need for a major break-in every day. To be fair, that tells me that Livramento feels like his cycle is over at Newcastle, probably because he's not signed a new deal. And for all the links with all them Newcastle players, Livramento seems to be the one. The only knock I have for Livramento is to have him, potentially Mascara and Timber as right back options. I'm for that. Is injuries. Injuries, Arsenal tax, it don't look good. How much are they going to ask for Livramento as well? And if they're saying 50, 60, it doesn't really fill you with any. Obviously, you can scout different targets, but if they're saying 50, 60 for Livramento, you're not going to spend 60 million on a centre mid and then maybe 60 million all the way to around 80 for a left winger. And then whether it's Julian Alvarez, you're looking at 100 plus. Obviously, if you're doing the scouting thing and you're finding the Haaland before Borussia Dortmund, or Salah when he's in Italy, or Mane when he's at Southampton, and, I'm just saying random names, and Buemo and Mahrez when they're playing in France. If you're doing that thing, then money can stretch in it. But it doesn't make sense. If we were just going to go for the names we're linked with, I think we need a right back. So let's just say Livramento. We're linked with Tonali. So let's say Tonali. That's probably 100, 110 on them two. Let's just assume we're going to get Julian Alvarez. That's 100 plus million. Do the maths. A left winger setting you back 50. If you're going for a Mika Götze, that might be a 40, 30, 40 all the way to 100. Really? With our outgoings? With our wage bill? Really? 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 Fair enough, man. Smash the likes. We all watched Arteta run Timber into the ground. Bro, the minute Timber's ACL was cool, it was back to it like he never left, man. That's how you're meant to do it. 9 minutes, they scored 2. This is what we need to do. Go blow Fulham away. Get goals up. No excuse. Been too many excuses this season. This is why I don't get gassed about this group. Carlisle, let's win their games for me, man. Good afternoon, my favorite YouTuber. You're far too kind, Hayden. I'm good, man. I'm good. Rice is next, unfortunately. Ugh. DG, some City news. Pep will announce he's leaving City in the coming weeks. Also heard Mascara has been house shopping in Manchester and his kids enrolling in school in the city. Do that, man. Pep leaves, we've got half a chance, man. All our starting 11 bar Zubimendi and Raya have had injuries. Zubi's defo had knocks. Got to move him on. Go on, AC Milan, take Jesus. Krupke 60, 70, can he play left wing? And he can play behind the striker. Obviously, long term, he's playing up front. I have to commend Reece Nelson. Pardon me for still being at the club. And it's sad, man, because if Reece Nelson was even half the player he was projected to be, we probably don't sign Noni. And there's a lot of things we could do. You've been gassing up Krupke since his France days. Did you do a video on him? Yep. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not trying to do potential transfers when I don't like what the manager has failed to do with the current attack. By the way, what are you saying about Cess rumors managing us? Not gonna lie, I'll take him back. I need proper football back at the club. Man's tired of her rumble from Arteta. To be fair with you, you're not gonna see him until at least 2028, surely, or 2027. Like Arteta's got 1 year left on his deal. There's talks of renewing it. Mad. Chelsea fan trying to get us to sign their lap. You're going mad. You're going mad. We don't need any more bouncers, man. We got Jokeres for that. Any updates on Timber? Nah. Krupti is a good signing, and he's French, man. Arsenal do not need backups. We need players better than what is currently starting in most attacking options. Boy. I feel you. Apparently, via Tom Canton, Arsenal are looking at several offensive signings, including on the left wing and in attacking midfield. I wonder if we do move on Odegaard or Kai this summer. There's an emphasis on looking at younger players with a high ceiling and the ability to provide immediate impact and quality. Fair enough. Stop the lazy Madueke signings, if I'm honest. Gabriel Jesus, Trossard, and Martinelli all face uncertain futures, with a summer exit a real possibility for all three. Wanyeri Football London understands is another player attracting interest from clubs in Europe and on the continent. No one don't care about what the rest have to say anymore. Arsenal to sit down for negotiations on arrival. Berta travels to edge things forward. Arsenal will sit down with Galatasaray to discuss a deal for Baris Alpar Yilmaz in the summer transfer window. The 25-year-old who is on Arsenal's radar apparently has 12 goals and 13 assists this season. We all would have seen Berta was in Turkey and things like that, people. So, yeah, not quite the Osimhen rumours we was hoping for. But this is saying we're looking at Osimhen. We made a move for Victor Osimhen, according to this report. Really? I don't think we sign another striker in that capacity. If you sign one that don't cost much and he's better than Jokeres or he's a long-term rotationary option, great. But I can't go into next season with nonsense left wing, man. I need a serious left winger. The option of playing Eze there, one of Trossard and Martinelli. That's what I need. Arsenal's interest combined with that of Barcelona could spark a full-blown international bidding war. So Barca will be linked with Osimhen. Man, we're not signing no Osimhen, bro. We're not signing no Osimhen, so I'm not even going to get you lot involved in that. But yeah, linked with an exit from Arsenal is Kai Havertz, with Bayern Munich interested in the German as a replacement for the departing Nicholas Jackson. I'm on that. Cesc Fabregas says Sky Calval. Cesc Fabregas, from what I've been told, there's some kind of suggestion that long-term the plan for him is to manage Arsenal one day. I'm not sure moving to Chelsea would be part of his career progression. You lot having Cesc one day, you need to go learn. He's also been linked with Chelsea. You need to go and learn. Because there are some... Oh, gosh, wait, what? Okay. Arsenal told to pay 115 million euros for Anthony Gordon. Safe. Oh, Newcastle legend, Chris. What, bro? Get out of here. Man said 100-odd million for Anthony Gordon. Boy. Apparently, Chelsea and Arsenal obviously tracking Mr. Nico Götze from Ajax. Apparently, he's not desperate to leave. They want 32 million euros. Do that, man. Cut price. If it don't bang, we can get rid. If it does bang, smart business. I've heard about it, but fortunately, this is not decided in a TV studio. The people within the club and at the other clubs decide that. So much is evolved that I don't even know. I hope to experience a great World Cup first, and then I'll come back to hit the ground running next season. Fair enough. I mean, you can't get drawn out on speculation, innit? Did you not see Declan Rice is in danger of you away for punishment for questioning the referees? Okay, I ain't no snitch, but then what we saying for Simeone then? Apparently, Per Mertesacker will say his final goodbye to Arsenal fans before kickoff this afternoon, before he leaves the club at the end of the season. And what else have we got? Absolutely nothing there. What have we got? Kiaman. Any other news? Brighton bringing MMA expertise. I saw that around set pieces. Crazy. Don't look like there's anything new there. The whole ATL team rushed the ref. No word there, though. Arsenal charge elite ticket prices, so they need to buy elite players. No more of this BS. Who is expecting Noni to play left wing? He was always a right winger. Palmer forced him out of Chelsea. Scroll past that age, bro. Mad. We need a good clear out of trash, but if we're still doing clear outs, it's crazy. I told you, man, Noni is not a left winger. Now you know. Sorry, let me search around for any Arsenal fan that thought that Noni's playing left wing. Obviously, you can play cover out there, but everybody knew you were Saka's backup. Some of you lot were saying he should be starting ahead of Saka. Some of you lot were saying move Saka to the left. Get out of here, blood. I don't think you move your best players out of their position. But if I'm moving Saka out of right wing, it's for Max Dowman to mix and blend in the squad. Really and truly, I understand why Noni's brought here, but no one's going to convince me that we couldn't have just spent that 55 million on a bad boy left winger. You got Wanyeri and Max Dowman. Saka's in the car. Obviously, there's been times Saka's been out for time, and I can see why Noni's there, but no one's going to convince me you couldn't have signed a bad boy right winger if that's what you wanted. You couldn't have spent serious money left-hand side. Max Dowman, Wanyeri, more so Wanyeri, because we didn't see Max Dowman doing this last season, or coming into this season. It could just wasting peas, bro. Buying shit, man. That's why I like Noni's attitude. I like his willingness. I actually like him a lot. I can't get vexed at you because there was already uncertainties with our attacking unit. Man, are bringing in more uncertain players. You've got players that you can't bet on throughout a season. They're hot and cold. Then you've got the manager's tactics where you don't really get the best out of the attackers. More so the Ezes and the Yokerezes, hiding their limitations and deficiencies and enhancing their strength. Like, bro, it's like, come on, fam. Two attacking options are accidental options. 65 million for Kai Havertz tried to make him a left A. Marino the same. Now, obviously, if you can play in a number of roles, great. For me, if you could get Julian Alvarez, Gyökeres, you man are my strikers. Marino, you'll get minutes there. Kai, you're probably gonna have to stay for 1 more year, so it is what it is. Bro, no more reboys, man. Well, you can. It's not too. Well, none you can go Newcastle. Trust me, you can do that, man. You can do that. Let him go Bournemouth, man. They'll give him drugs. He'll start looking lit. Come on, man. There's a realistic chance we're in the semi-finals of a Champions League with Martinelli and Noni Madueke. We're on foolishness, man. We're on foolishness. We always take squad players, try and make them the 31. We're actually on some foolish. I love you lot. But we're on foolishness sometimes, bro. Like, we love to stand in the rain and complain we're wet. Like, the good and bad of this club is because of us, bro. Jarring. I'm tired of Arsenal not an elite club. As fans, can we not act like it with some effing standards for the type of ballers we go for in champion? Yeah, but we can scream, shout, shake it all about. Fans can't do nothing. They're going to buy who they want. Bro, why can't we just get... Bro, it annoys me because when we're spending we're spending peas, bro, and I'm not even trying to diss the players. When we're buying quote-unquote established players, 65 for Kai, 55 for Noni. You look at a couple other, like, Cherky, 30 million. Obviously, you don't know everything, but like fairly established names, you could have went and grabbed that, bro. Like this season, there's been unknown guys like we're talking about. This is my issue. Like you have a scout that you go find the Morgan Rogers and the Mo Salahs and the Manes and the Gundogan's and the Kevin De Bruyne's and all these fucking lists here before they end up where they end up. Yeah, when they're because when these guys are signed by the clubs they've signed for and gone on to make history, everyone's got a fair chance to grab them. So you either do that or obviously it's not as white and black as this. But if you like a Morgan Rogers at Aston Villa, if you genuinely want that, bro, you got to put the 100 million on the table. Now I know that's not going to be it, but like who have we spent peas on? That's actually like big boy. Only Rice. We spent big boy peas on that. We spent bread, and it makes sense. But for every one of that, it's a nonsense one. People even forgetting Yokerez weren't even that expensive. Obviously Eze as well, man. DG, don't talk about your preferred 11. Preferred 11 today. Or preferred 11 in general. Today, we're kind of crippled needs must, man. If I had to guess, for me today, Raya, Saliba, Gabriel, I'd bring it. I do like the form and how Hincapié is conducting himself, but save his legs a tiny bit. Calafiori, we might need your chaos today. Calafiori off the left. Right back Sateki one. Timber's a non-starter, obviously. Ben White, we might have to wrap you and Cotton Walkers. You might have to be the one. I'd go fuck it. Mascara thing today. Even though I do want to play Mascara against Atletico. Fuck it. Mascara right back today. Needs must in midfield, innit? Like Rice, Zubi, Odegaard. Sorry, Rice, Zubi, Eze. I don't think Odegaard's going to play, if I'm honest with you. Left-hand side. Fuck it. Well, Yoker is up front. The wing option. Like, if it was up to me and there's no context, bro, I'm on running Max Dowman right wing, innit? Because at least you don't piss me off. Honestly, I do think it will be... I think he'll go Trossard and Noni from the jump, you know. There might be a Saka start there. I don't know. Like, it's one where, again, wish I was a fly on the wall. Is this going to be the one you give Saka 45 to an hour, you take him off, he's good to go for Tuesday? Or do you give him, bring him off the bench again today? Tuesday's where you gamble on the first Saka start in a minute? I don't know. Because Arteta wanted Noni. And that's because at the end of the day, yeah, I can have my opinions on Noni. I still maintain he's not as bad as people make out. I don't think we should have bought him. I think it could have been spent elsewhere. I don't care about potential. I do care about potential, but what I care about is realizing potential. Because Arteta, realistically, you look like if Noni was to have got 10 Premier League goals or 10 and like a decent number of Premier League goals and assists, or in general, you look like a genius. Noni is gonna be one of those players, yeah, where the penny either drops, which I don't really bet on. The penny either drops, and what he's got now in terms of his quality, the decision making marries, or this is what he's gonna play like until he retires. There might be some seasons either at Arsenal or elsewhere where he's got positive goal contributions, and I'm quite pessimistic, like, because I don't think Arteta doesn't believe in the guy. I do think Arteta is trying to improve him. I do think Noni's trying to improve. I do believe that. But end of the day, I can only comment on what I see. I think you've got what you've paid for. In that Noni's numbers are meaty. He's doing what he's doing. If we're going to do the potential thing, then let it be low-cost experiments, bro, because he's 23, 24, England international. He's dead now, bro. Turkey was too obvious, so I knew it was a myth. It's nonsense. No. Big up yourself, Vincent. I can see Arsenal scoring a good 4-5. Fulham already on the beach, hotels and villas booked. Give me the 3 points first. If we could score a couple goals, I'm for that. I never imagined we'd ever have a meaty Vieira. Bro, could have grabbed Semenyo. Could have grabbed Semenyo. It's all coulda, woulda, shoulda, man. Do you think Teta starting Noni left wing first game of the season was just an experiment? Needs must, bro. Noni can play on the left. He can play on the right. Like, he's a rotationary option, and I understand that. But, yeah, dead. What is your view that Rice plays better as a defensive six? 100%. You actually see him threading the ball a lot better as well. 100%. Smash the likes if you haven't. That's a bit harsh. What has Bielsa won in his career? And there's managers that are far more decorated than Bielsa. They all quote him. Moral of the story is it goes beyond trophies. Bringing it back to Arsenal, Arteta, there's so much things I can praise you and the team about. My thing is, are we a winning team? Have we won silverware? That's the realm we've been in the last 3 years, and we've fallen short. You've got 2 bites of the cherry. You've got 4 games in the Premier League, 1 in the Champions League, 2 if you get through to the final. That's what that matters, isn't it? That's how you paint your narrative. I didn't think Saka looked ready to come back in the semi-final. He didn't look as fit. Would you not save him for our next game again? Yeah, he probably comes off the bench. No stream with Rants this week. 2 p.m. today. Now everyone is convinced Rice is a 6 and not an 8, but we've watched Arteta do mega mind nonsense with Rice for 3 seasons. I actually like elements of Rice playing as an 8, but sometimes, and I do think you have to be able to, whether you're a midfielder playing different roles, whether you're a right winger, you need to be on the left. Sometimes, as I keep saying, man, I'm asking fish to climb trees. As much as people got to adapt, you have to accept people for what they are. Put them in conditions where it's going to enhance what they're good at and hide their weaknesses. Obviously, Gyökeres, for example, you have to do the general play thing, but you're never going to be the sweetest guy. Put him in conditions the man's going to score. Kai, facilitative figure. Try and take away from where we're living or dying by him taking chances. Martinelli, he's better when we're playing a bit more direct and he ain't got time to think, in which, and Noni as well, in which these players need to improve, but it is what it is. I don't think we're trying to reinvent the wheel, and I do think throughout this journey, we've done the reinventing the wheel thing, like, we're 90% there, bro. Now I need, again, I'm bringing out a hot takes video. My hot take, I don't think this team's got a soul, if I'm honest. I don't see enough individuality out. It's now time to play football. We're playing football. It's now time to play football. F-U-T-B-O-L. That's my thoughts. And nothing's changed, innit? The good, bad, and the ugly, even though we're fighting for trophies, nothing's changed. We're still talking about the same things from last season, the season before that, and the season before that. This is why I say, before I look at how good or bad City are or this and that, credit to them teams, I look internally and ask myself the question, have we maximized everything we can? The answer is no, bro. We ain't. So win the games, bring a bit of silverware home, sigh of relief, parade, pattern up for next season, innit? How many trophies do you think Cesc would win with 7 years? I don't know. That's all hypothetical. And to be fair, people are unfair because 1, everybody spends money. 2, whatever Mikel Arteta and Arsenal have spent has been obviously dwarfed by other clubs. You look in the last decade, Spurs have spent more than us. Yes, Arteta's done some foolishness with the market, if I'm honest with you. And I don't really care about the spending because people want to sit here. Some Arsenal fans want to sit here and say, yeah, we can win a title. And when it starts getting to now, they're doing the Disneyland stuff. Like, well, we're the protagonists of everything pure with football and we're fighting an oil state in City. Bro, man knew what we're going into this season, bro. Knew what we was going into. And if them man have a sugar dad and a rich dad, and we have to sweat a lot harder for our bread. When we've got a little 65, a little 50, The man need to make sure the shit is making sense. This is why we need to get better at selling. This is why Haaland needs to be pumping out some kids and making some money off them. This is like, we're so close, bro. And that's why it's so frustrating. We're doing nonsense, foolishness. We even got blessed this season yet again and managed to fumble. But smash the likes if you haven't. Manager is on too much money to be doing some of the not, bro. Arteta, there's so much stuff I could see, and everyone knows I've been more than fair in this live stream. I've always been more than fair. I could waffle and talk about a lot of things that I like about you, and I'd actually love to speak football with you away from Arsenal. Only thing I'm at bottom line business, silverware. That's it. I don't care about. Obviously, we can sit and talk about context. I don't care about context now. I don't like. It's time to deliver. In work, nobody, your manager don't care about your context. God forbid. No one, he don't care or she don't care if things are going on in your personal life. You can give them all them excuses and contexts, but I gave you a task. I need it by now. You didn't do it. You're getting sacked, or there's discipline. That's where I'm at. You can tell me about injuries and ref decisions and this and that, and I can hear it because I'm watching it, but we knew what were coming. We know these spanners can get thrown in the works. And end of the day, bottom line business. And despite all of the adversity and whatnot, another year where you're still in a fighting chance. So that tells me it can be done. And there's been several moments where we haven't seized the present. We haven't struck why the opponent's been weak. Manchester City at the Emirates, let alone how we performed in the League Cup final when obviously we didn't beat them at the Etihad. Man United at the Emirates, shooting ourselves in the foot. Liverpool twice, tactically gaffer, more so the Anfield game. Boys and the manager, City at the Emirates. I don't need to tell you about the performance against Bournemouth, let alone not learning our lessons when we actually caught life beating Wolves at the Emirates and versus how we saw it. Brentford, obviously you can't win them all. Sunderland, one of the best defensive teams, us in Europe. You're 15 minutes away from 3 points. You've now conceded a late equalizer. Obviously, you're on course. You conceded Aston Villa away in the last minute. All of these things start compounding because we love to talk about fine and small margins. We're not on the right side of them because that's what separates being a competitive team, which we are, to getting over that line. So if we keep talking about the same things, same shit is happening, bro. So it's tired, bro. It's tired, bro. Like again, the context thing don't matter now, bro. It does when the game season's done and that it don't matter. Like I hear that, man got injured, this happened, red card. Oh, I hear that. What was the goal? All right, I hear that Arteta, but hear what I'm saying. What was the goals in August? Like when you lot were in pre-season, what did you lot put on the whiteboard? It must have been win a Premier League, win a FA Cup, win a Champions League, win a League Cup, or aspire to go as far as we can. To a degree, you have. You have, and the season's not done yet. Fingers, toes, everything crossed. You have. You got to a League Cup final, which I ain't seen us win in my lifetime. Obviously, I'm not happy to just be in a league final and you don't know how I felt, how we conducted ourselves on the day. But all right, cool. You're in another semi-finals. Make sure you bring that home. You're in the Premier League because it's going to be another one. Before I look at City, and I have to praise what City have done, how they've turned their season around. But before I praise them and all of that stuff, I look at us. You shot yourselves in the foot. You shot yourselves in the foot, whether it's been knowing when to rotate, when not to rotate, systems, and this is my thing with Arteta. I know you know these things because when I'm seeing how we're man-to-man pressing against City, you're going with Eze and Odegaard together and the trade-off that's going to give you. Magalhaes is following, is pressing as well, and we're leaving Haaland, so we're going on the trade-offs. You're bringing Miles Lewis-Kelly in, you're putting Rice in the 6, and then Zubi in the 8. It's not that it's too little, too late, but these things annoy me because it feels as an armchair expert that it is too little, too late. Because we've been calling for this all year. And I'm very disappointed. Truthfully, I'm very disappointed in Mikel Arteta and all of the boys. I praise you lot because we're still fighting, but I'm very disappointed because you lot sold me a dream, Newcastle away. You sold me a massive dream. If we win this Premier League, that's the game for me where I'll rewrite history in it and say, yeah, that's where I believe. Because I think Arteta, you complicated things where you needed to complicate. You kept things simple where you needed to keep things simple. Boys, we never got the penalty shout. We obviously want to go down. Mistakes happen. Every player that started was on it from minute 0 to 90. The subs come on. I thought that is what man want to see. I was sold dreams. And unfortunately, smash the likes, man. 34 likes, you lot are boying it. Unfortunately, we'll have feelings of regret. And unfortunately, as much as I love the boys and what we're doing, one thing that pains me is I don't know what the future looks like. Pep could stay. Pep might leave. City could fall off. Arsenal could fall off. Arsenal could go and dominate. United could be back. This could happen. That could happen. We all know what happened in the past. We've never seized the present, bro. Like, We don't seize the present moment because I do think there are teams with other contexts in these last 4 years, like Liverpool last year. Slot might not have expected it, fell on his lap, he ran with it. I haven't seen that from us. And I don't expect to dominate and win the league, but in the last 4 years, including this year and still counting, could we have won a Premier League or two? Could we have retained? Could we have picked up some domestic trophies? Who knows what would have happened if, when we come back in the Champions League, we lost to Bayern Munich. With all the Athletic was talking about players with X factor. So boom, you know, a year on, you dealt with Real Madrid. You get into PSG where you just need better players. Maybe if we learned, what would have happened? Last summer where we brought in 8 players. If we did that 12 months ago, what would have last season looked like? I don't know. This is all hindsight. So again, the past brings regrets. The future brings uncertainty. It's about fucking time, boys. We seize the present. Because I do like the gaffer. I do think you're going to do things in your career. I do like you players. There's things I can nitpick. And no family's perfect. But it's a fucking shame if we don't win silverware. And every time we've dropped points or lost games or like in crunch time moments, I've always felt like there's a lot to give. And truthfully, boys, you lot have let me down, bro. You've let me down when it's mattered the most. When it's sink or swim, like I said, we're going to go from being a competitive team to a great team by logic winning stuff. Then fine margin, you need to be on the right side. And you lot have killed me. You lot really upset me in that League Cup final. You got no God-given right to win a trophy. But like from the manager to the players, no one can tell me that they ain't got no regrets. The Bournemouth game, I don't need to tell you a lot about that. Those things, and Wolves away, those things, they play on my mind. So yeah, man, prove us wrong, man. Come on, people, stop hating, hit the likes just because we don't know if we'll have a parade. DG shouldn't suffer. We could be 6 points ahead in the Champions League final Tuesday. 20 years later, appreciate you, my guy. Parade should have been done. And that's the thing, should have ran with it, bro. But again, I'm not even interested in the shoulda, woulda, coulda stuff. Right now, win the games, pray to God in it. But what I said at the start, yeah, and again, I hope we win silverware, but could you, God forbid, because it's a family, we have to have these conversations. Imagine, cool, you've lost a League Cup final, you don't win the Premier League, you've gone out the FA Cup to Southampton. Imagine you get to a Champions League final and lose, in which on one hand, obviously, Bayern Munich, PSG is serious business. We hope we can win. I'm just saying, imagine. That just tells me, there's no worries, my guy. You can look back with a sense of pride. When you walked in to, if you left, if this happened, we're in different conversations, but players, the vast majority of you might be nearly men. Right now, you might be a nearly man. To go in and win stuff, you might have to divorce. But, yeah. It is what it is. 32 injuries. Spurs are the only ones with more. Skelly is the only one to survive without one. Are we cursed or what? Probably, man. Arteta told us not to be satisfied with second. Now he's talking about context. I don't want to hear that, bro. I don't want to hear that. Dead. There's no context now. Like, there obviously is. Man need to go and win stuff. Because that is what was said. That was the goal. Right, and those fine margins is why teams don't fear us, which is a big part of why teams approach us how they do sometimes. It's horrible, man. Look at Juju trying to get us to buy Chelsea players, man. It's probably on. It's probably on brand, innit? I'm not even going to diss it because it won't surprise me if the summer comes. Even though, should we go to the champ? Bro, I think we are the underdogs for the Champions League final. Nobody expects us to win. Obviously, you want to win. I just think when you compound everything, that fundamentally you got to another final, you never won. Last few years, you've won some battles, but you've not won the war, and everything I suggested just compounds in it. And the boys and the club will lift. Time's a healer. We have no choice but to get on. But one does wonder, like, something's got to change, but it can't keep being the players. Maybe there's a different voice. Maybe we get worse. Maybe we get better, but you might just have to try something different. So it is what it is, man. And it's just, there'll be a lot of, I don't want the boys to have that feeling, but unfortunately, there'll be an overwhelming stench of regret, man. DJ, have you seen the topics on freshness? Please share your thoughts. I think it's impossible. I think players are guinea pigs. I think, if you're a top player, you're looking at anything from 50 to 70 games for club and country. Club tournaments, international tournaments are expanding. Teams are jetting off all over. You don't get a rest. Like if you was playing in the Club World Cup off the back of last season, so you had an intense domestic season or competing in multiple things. You've gone into a Club World Cup. You're now coming to this season with all the madness. You've now got a World Cup as well to compete with. What one does wonder what the World Cup's going to look like, and there's obviously injuries or is happening as well. One does wonder what the World Cup's going to look like, but one does wonder what next season's going to look like. Like all they're going to say is have a bigger squad. I don't know how you fix it, but yeah, man. So yeah, man. But I'm genuinely envious of the fact that Arsenal compete every year. Let's not forget the banner area Arteta change, which is why I said, bro, when you walked into 2019, if you left today, you've done very well. But that might be the end of your movie. You know, our first title shout. The players, not everybody's made the distance. The people that helped us fight for the first year, they're either not at the club or they're kind of on the downward scale, innit? The people that helped us get back in the Champions League weren't necessarily those to help us compete in it, fight for a league, fight for it next year. And then say we win the league now. The people that have helped us along this journey, they might not be the guys that help us retain a Premier League and then go and win a Champions League and things like that. You always have to evolve, and I've seen that. What happened to Timber? He's out. I could support Arteta more if he wasn't so gimmicky. The Sea World training clip was insane. Bro, I can't lie. Unpopular opinion. I don't give a fuck about that. I know it looks cringy and stuff, but anyone that understands sport, Arteta is not alone in that. All their managers are doing all of that. It's just because it's Arsenal, everybody engagement high. That's all cool. I understand that kind of stuff. I just care about winning some silverware now. Because I do think some people are committed to hating the gaffer. It don't really make sense. Some people want to gas the gaffer, gas the players, sit at this big boy table. Now it's time to do big boy stuff. There's excuses. You can't have it both ways. You can't shove the back-to-back semi-finals, more points than the Invincibles. All of that. I love seeing them stats. It reflects that we're a good and competitive team. It's now about becoming a great team. Indirectly, to become great, you have to make history. And if I'm very harsh, Arteta's not. If you win the champs, that's something I ain't seen. You ain't done nothing that I haven't seen in my 31 years. Like, I've seen us win a Prem. I've seen us win FA Cups. Like, fair enough, Wenger probably wouldn't have built this team, but a part of me does, like, hot take. If Wenger, maybe not 2022, 23, maybe, but the last 3 years away from that year, if Wenger just walked in, because I know he had his issues. So if Wenger had this squad in the last 3 years, I can't lie, I think he went hot take. Like I said, the hot take videos are landing soon. I think he wins a Prem. And for me, if you rate the gaffer, you have to be like this. Man rate Saka, so if Saka's not scoring goals, we're asking questions. Some Arsenal fans just like the illusion of success, that they just like the journey. A lot of people are more committed to hating Mikel or loving Mikel more than the club. The Arsenal is first. It's not bigger than you. It's not bigger than me. It's been here longer than us. It's gonna be here after us, innit? I think Arteta needs to look the 4 years into context. It can't be uniquely Arsenal situation. And again, even the context thing could be debunked. Because again, honest football lovers, every year we could go, and at the end of this year, if we don't, we can do the context thing. But also you could argue the context is Arsenal finish second. All right. 4 years in a row. God forbid it's this year as well, but like 4 years, context, finishing second. You've had 4 bites of the cherry. How much time do you want to put your money in the roulette machine? Arteta's the man. I wonder how he comes up with these motivational quotes like bring your shut up, man. You're on the trolling thing. Bro, in the defense. But like it's the attack in the middle third. And Arteta, you was a player in, obviously towards the end of your career, you was a bit of a, like a 6 for us, but you was an attacking player. I don't get it, man. You've got enough lived experiences as a player in this Premier League and being at Arsenal and learning from Pep and your own lived experiences, not only in the last 4 years, but the whole time you've been here. Because again, if on the topic of fine margins, remember when it was whoever's on this is going to get Champions League? Unfortunately, remember when we bottled it against Spurs? We went over there, got slapped. We went Newcastle, got slapped. We've not been on the right side more times than not on fine margins, man. I agreed about Wenger. People forget about the size he filled in the champs. He did way more with much less. And that's why I said the squad, because I don't think he signs Kai Havertz for 65. I don't think he signs Noni. I definitely don't think Arsene Wenger signs Declan Rice. So if he had the squad, probably, man. Arteta haters have no clue who to bring in. It's true, but that can't always be used as an excuse, because if you're with a woman and she's not good for you, or you had great times and you want different things, a man just going to stay with her because you think you can't get someone else. You might get someone else, it might not work. And even that, when we got Arteta, fair enough, he was seen as a earmark to be a big boy coach, but he had no CV. So we used the proactiveness to go and find. So we can't just keep him, man. I'm on anything until we win a title. Arteta wins silverware. You've earned blind loyalty from me. I'm like, in terms of how much I like you, I'm 85% convinced on you. But the 15% is stronger because I want to get over the line now. And I think you shoot yourself in the foot. I'm not like, bro, I don't know you from nowhere. I love Arsenal Football Club. I don't like you necessarily beyond being the Arsenal manager. There's too much loyalty. Everyone's on being ruthless to the fans. Everyone's on being ruthless to the fans, to the players, to everything apart from the gaffer, bro. And if you really rate him, you should be feeling like how I feel personally. But each to their own. But yeah, on that note, though, people, I want to give you a lot of break. We'll be back at 4:30. 4:30. So 3 hours. 3 hours and 9 minutes. Yeah, join me for the watch along. Bring your boots, bring your dinners, bring your shin pads. We got 3 points to get against Fulham. Big up Fulham. Big up you lot as well, people, for being here. Like, comment, subscribe. I see you lot in a bit, man. Always